did good. Have you pressed record yet?
Yeah. I told you. I hit record so I don't have to get back up.
Oh, so you didn't stop it and like redo it?
Well, no, I did.
Well, I don't remember.
Yeah, I got up.
Oh, I remember you getting up.
We were changing the lights and so on and so forth.
Oh, and then you said, okay, yeah.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol. Anyways. Sup?
Hi.
This, we recording. I'll chill.
Sup.
We,
Hold on. Sup. Okay, I'm satisfied.
I'm talking about all the real stuff in the world.
Real world stuff.
Real world stuff.
Real world stuff. Tonight.
Oh, yeah.
No. Okay, radio voice. Do you think radio voices are sexy?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think...
Never have I ever... Never have I ever listened to talk radio. It's like, I want to sit on his face.
Yeah, no, me either.
That is crazy, though, because there is
I think voices
a broadcasting
can be...
voice.
Mm-hmm.
There is like a fake broadcasting voice that people practice, and they enunciate really good, and they spit when they talk, and then they talk like this, and they change the way that they talk.
But I feel like you change the way that you talk with everybody. Like when hi, my name is Stephanie Gonzalez. How can I help you today?
Yeah, it's called code switching.
Yeah.
Like if I'm with my hillbilly friends, I'm talking like this.
All right, Forrest Gump.
If I'm with successful people, I'm like, yes.
You just say yes.
You need a house boy?
Yeah.
Bitch, I clean good.
Clean whole house.
My shit be spoiled.
How are my nails? I actually need nails.
You don't have nails?
No, like getting nails done.
Oh, I was like, it'd be weird. Just don't have nails on there.
No, it's just
like
all
a titty
fingers.
without a nipple.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with titties without nipples.
Yeah, it's not the same.
I mean, the only reason it happens
aesthetically, it's not the same.
Okay, I get
obviously, it's not the same.
I mean, obviously, it's not the same, but there's nothing wrong with it. Breast cancer.
No, like, I understand that, but I'm saying, like, that's like a dire.
I really like the color behind you.
I know, that's why I picked it.
I like this color, too.
I know. I'm a big,
Do you read comic books?
Yes and no.
They're just here for show.
Well, okay.
Uh-huh.
I'm familiar.
Can you play the guitar?
I probably can a little bit, but that one's not tuned.
Can you strum a note?
Can
you strum a note?
No.
Why not?
It's for sure not tuned. The face of it is like starting to part, so I cannot tune it. I've tried. So even if I'm trying to.
Do you have a guitar that you can strum a note?
No.
I'm going to bring a guitar next time.
I don't think I can play anymore, and even when I could play, I was not good.
I'm bringing a guitar next time.
It's not going to be good.
It's okay.
I do want to learn, though.
It's just for fun. I'm bringing a guitar, an electric guitar, so you can be like...
Well, y'all, if y'all have ever wanted to see somebody forcefully make somebody do something, y'all seen it now. Seen it now. And we wonder how things happen in this world.
It's the second time you do it.
Starts off with a guitar and fucking next
Promotion.
thing I know, I'm doing your taxes. No,
Do you believe in taxes?
On the what?
Do you believe in taxes?
Fuck no.
Fuck no.
Okay, I'm impartial on taxes. Let me know what the fuck my taxes are going to, because I pay 20 to 25%.
That's it? Oh, I guess you're in that bracket.
20 to 25%? That is so much.
My parents pay 45.
But they're also married.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a single guy paying the most.
I guess, yeah, the most.
25% of my 20 to 25% of my earnings. So that means I can make. That is so much. I can bring in $100,000 and $20,000 to $25,000 is going to I-35.
If that.
The homeless, like what?
Did you see that they're taking?
Fucking give me a separate check and I'll go give it to somebody. Like.
Yeah. Did you see that I heard. Don't quote me on it.
Oh shit.
I heard that they're trying to take away like Social Security and stuff because the U.S. is in so much debt.
Yeah, but we've done that before. Do you remember pensions?
Mm-hmm. But like take it away completely. But what happens to like all the money that you put into it?
That's the same exact thing that's gonna happen to 401k when we're 50.
Yeah.
That 401k ain't gonna be worth a single fuck, and all these people that was like, but I was paying in 5%.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what? Sucks to suck.
Mm-hmm.
Should have got a podcast. Like and subscribe. Sup.
Sup. Hold on, I have to do like I need to be bro.
Yeah, you was looking ratchet, dog.
Sup.
No, I'm just kidding.
You're so mean.
I'm not mean.
I'm not ratchet. I'm gorgeous.
You're not ratchet.
I'm gorgeous.
I mean, there's snap-on ratchets, and them hoes are like $275. So like that's pretty cool. I got one in my fucking toolbox that I spent $300 on. It's broke. I don't have a tool guy no more, so I can't get that bitch fixed. No, like for me,
For you,
I don't know how I feel about taxes.
how do you feel about taxes?
I don't know how. Cause like, okay, the hard worker in me and like the blue collar is like, pay your taxes and things will be okay and whatever. But it's like,
Fuck taxes on the
are
other
they
side.
though?
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people realize the 401k situation.
Have you ever had long hair?
Yes, in high school. I had really long
long?
hair. Like really, like shoulders.
No way.
Fuck
Do you have
yeah.
a picture?
Yeah, I'll show you later. I'm not showing it now.
Come on. So, show it to me later, and then you can, like, add it here, like, in the middle. Like, in the middle.
You're giving me way too much credit on this editing.
Yeah. You can do it. You can do it.
Be aggressive. Be aggressive.
Would you ever be a cheerleader?
No. You know, I talk a big game, but I think if I ever drop somebody, I would that would really fuck me up. My confidence would just be shook.
Have you ever dropped somebody, like, dancing?
I have, but it was for sure,
not my fault.
No, there's times it was my fault, but it was definitely, I was drunk, she was drunk, or we were just off beat.
Yeah.
She zigged when she should have zagged, and I fucking dropped it.
Yeah.
Gravity's a thing.
Gravity is the thing.
And if you mix alcohol into that, it's a very real thing.
Yeah.
And it hits you hard.
We haven't gone out in a long time.
I don't fucking go out no more.
Yeah, I really don't either.
That's for the fucking hoodlums.
Hoodlums.
I turned 30 and I just want to sit at home with my dog.
How old are you?
30.
Oh, shit.
Turned 30. Yeah, I'm an old fuck.
Fart.
Oh, yeah. The other F word.
Wrong word.
Gaseous. Wow. I like old fuck better. Old fuck sounds cool.
You're an old fart.
You know, old fart.
You're an old fart.
They're taking away my Social Security. That is fucked up, though.
That is pretty fucked up.
Because,
imagine all the people that were depending on that and then, saved money.
Yeah, I mean, it's
retired and
that's a thing that really kind of messes me up though is and that goes back to the tax situation. If I'm paying 25% of my wages to taxes and we're making trillions of dollars off of taxpayers, can we not dude, people
can you not fuck people over?
Old people are living off of $1,500 a month in a lot of cases on Social Security. Start a fund. We're okay, whatever, how you feel about Ukraine. We've spent so much money on you. We are the.
Did you see that? Did you see that they didn't approve aid for the places where the trail derailments happened? It was not approved to go fund and help, but they're doing it for Ukraine.
That's exactly my point, though.
How is that? How is that a thing? Why is that a thing?
So we can let our old people die, and we can let our poor people starve.
But we can fund a war.
But
that's
we can
questionable.
Spend trillions of dollars in a war that we legitimately have zero reason. Now, but
that's not the only thing, though.
I agree. We should have. We should
we
help.
can help.
but we've done more than help.
Mm-hmm.
We've
help us first.
We have given them all the equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we have given them we have given them so much equipment that it's being reported that if we were attacked, we couldn't even get into a war ourselves. So we have so much assets.
Mm-hmm.
And now, I don't know if that's true or not, so please
don't
don't come after me, fucking social media warriors.
Anything.
Because I guarantee somebody from the Pentagon's going to be watching Dilly and the Boys, and they're going to be like, hey, fuckface, that's wrong. My be, General. It is what it is. But yeah,
you're going to be on the most wanted list after this.
Fuck that. Take my fucking money and go to Cabo, dude.
Dude.
Fucking dude, I'll go give me a surf shack.
Surf shack.
Living the dream.
What's your favorite movie?
Booty Call. It's a great movie.
Never seen it.
Oh my gosh, it is amazing. Okay, the plot is obviously
a booty call.
Kind of,
but
like it definitely is like a silly movie.
I'm not surprised.
But I have just I could watch that movie 1,000,000 times.
Well, what's it about? Tell me.
It's funny. Every black person I know, and I've told them that, they're like, fuck, they love that movie. Every other person that's not black, they're like, what's Booty Call? Oh, it's great.
Is it like the equivalent of American Pie?
I identify as black.
You're going to get so much shit for this.
Ain't nobody watching this shit.
Yes, you have 37 subscribers.
Watch, I'm going to end up being famous one day, and it's going to come back and haunt me in 5 years. He says he identifies as black.
Well, why can't he?
Yeah, 2023, dog.
Bitches.
My credit's shit, homie.
No, it's not.
My dog's part pit bull, cuz.
Oh, my God. You're horrible.
I have black people in my family. I can identify.
Interesting.
I live in a black neighborhood, kind of.
I'm gonna stick to no comment on that.
No, not really. No, I like that movie though. Like, I grew up.
Is it like the equivalent of like American Pie? But
no.
Okay.
It's not as goofy. It's literally like a dude is dating this girl, and they're gonna fuck for the first time, but she's got a homegirl and he's got a homeboy, and they're trying to like
set them
hook them up, but then everything goes wrong, and it's a really silly movie. But it has like Jamie Foxx.
Oh, okay.
It has like Vivica A. Fox. Like, it has big names in it.
Yeah.
It's just very goofy.
Interesting.
I love it. Like, Jamie Foxx's name in the movie is called Buns.
Buns? I'm have to look this up. Hold on, give me a second. Booty Call Fox.
Before you stick it.
Oh my God, it's a thing. Yep. It was made in 1997, so that movie is how old? 25? No. 20.
I'm 30. It's 23. With 24?
No. 97? Yeah. 25.
Yeah, 24 or 25 depends on when.
What month?
Has its birthday happened?
Yeah.
Damn it.
Oh, it actually. Trailer rewind. Booty Call was 25 today. So it's 25. That's literally the first thing that popped up. I believe that our phones listen to us. Alexa is crazy. Alexa's crazy. Like, literally, my parents will be watching something on YouTube. I get home, not even 10 minutes later, there's a commercial that's, like, directed towards me.
The funny thing is people still say things like, I believe it's listening. They've announced it's listening to us. They know.
That's true.
It's whatever the geo something
is that you calling me out for saying I believe that?
100%. Like, it's true. Like, it's geo-targeting it's geo-target marketing or whatever the fuck.
So, like, I was reading up on that a couple years ago, and it's so crazy.
You can do it in real estate.
Yeah. But I think, like, okay, I was reading probably like 2-3 years ago how my kids will be, like, tracked all their life.
My kids are going to be fucked, dog.
I want to live, like, in a forest and not have electricity. I mean, not electricity, internet. But, like, okay, so let's say I have this app, right? And this app is tracking my period. The day that I am not having a period, they know that I'm pregnant. And then from that app, it goes to like Amazon, because Amazon probably owns the app, and they start advertising this. And then from there, like, they track the age of my kid, and as my kid grows up, they advertise things as my kid grows up. Does that make sense?
I don't 100% think so. I think it's
I
think it's going to be similar to like the Alexa experiment, right?
Elaborate.
I don't have an Alexa. I have nothing hooked up to Alexa. Now, I do have cell phones that listen to me, but I have every permission turned off. I don't have Siri on that. I don't have Bixby on this. If you have an Alexa in your home and you have your lights hooked up and you have your speakers hooked up and you have everything hooked up to it, they made a movie about this in early 2000s. It's called Smart House. It ended badly. Don't fucking do it. I watched it. It was a Disney movie, and even that shit was negative. I'm telling you right now.
I remember what movie you're talking about.
It was literally the exact thing that we're going down.
Have you seen Love, Death, Robots?
No.
It's also on Netflix. I love it.
The next step of Alexa is, and they've already cracked jokes about this, is people beginning to have relationships with Alexa. There is people that marry friggin', I like this character on this TV. I like Mr. Pringle. I'm gonna marry Mr. Pringle. Well, I mean, he's got bomb ass stash, dude.
I do like a man with a nice
mustache, right?
My boyfriend has a nice mustache.
Oh my god, he's so happy. Fucking, we get it, dude.
I'm chewing away from the mic.
Well, don't eat on air.
Okay, fine.
Come on, self-discipline. Have you not eaten that whole can yet? I'm gonna demolish it.
Do you want some?
No. No, I think it's gonna be similar to that. I think you're gonna opt into the technology or you're not.
It goes back to AI and how, or like what we were talking about was like.
But it's only going to affect you if you allow it. Like, there's some people who live in the VR world, and I have zero care in the world about VR. Yeah. I'm living life.
In the real world.
Like.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, maybe if something happens and I go blind and then they come up with something that they can hook up to my, my
brain,
neurology, whatever the fuck it is, and make me be able to see things using a series of electrical pulses and whatever it is. Dope.
Think you just invented something.
Fucking color me impressed. I will go into the Pokemon realm and I will catch them all. As of right now, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't have an Alexa in my house. I don't have a VR set. I still have an Xbox 360, and the only reason why I have that is because my nephew. I don't ever play it. Like, my phone or my truck radio, I don't even have the services on that. Yeah. Even though it still probably fucking does something. But, like, it's one of those things where that's the other crazy thing.
I think it goes back to not necessarily laziness, but convenience.
But we opt in for it. We say it. Here's a perfect example.
I don't want to reach for my phone to play music. Hey, Siri.
Here's a perfect example. Credit Karma. Experian. Right? Those aren't actual reports. They're not. They're guesstimates based off of what you're doing. You have them linked to an account, and they're going based off of how much you're paying bills and XYZ, and they're getting some reports from other places that they have a financial contribution from, right? Experian, guess what Experian is? That is a practice social score that's saying you pay your phone bill on time? Dope! Here's 17 free points on your credit score.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm not getting approved for a fucking car because it went up 17% on my fucking Experian. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
They go after my FICO and some extra shit. Literally doesn't matter. But people are allowing them to go into their whole lives, find out how much they're paying for every single bill, how often they do it. And you're allowing a company to know the very, very, very intimate parts of everything you're doing and your finances. But people want to sit there and talk about the vaccines. They're fucking tracking us. No, you dumb motherfucker. You're tracking yourself. You have a cell phone.
Uh-huh.
He knows that you called your wife a bitch. Like, they know. They know. They've solved murders with Alexa.
Okay, talking about they've solved murders with Alexa. That's actually, it's crazy
so
how
passionate
that's
about
like,
Alexa.
Okay, so going back to like how it tracks us, my phone knows that I'm in a relationship. All my shit's completely changed on my phone since I've been in a relationship. Isn't that crazy?
It is. But guess what we do whenever we buy a fucking iPhone? We go through all of the things when we're setting it up.
Like? Which one do you like better? Your Samsung or
They're
your iPhone?
both great for different things. Mm-hmm. This one is way better for media.
Mm-hmm.
Way better for, I think, personally, business stuff in certain ways. This is way better for the podcast. The iPhone is way more connected to other stuff. Socially, it's way better. But I don't fucking like texting on that fucking thing. It's way worse than this. YouTube is worse than this. This, like, media is... I almost never use this except for this.
Texting is worse on an iPhone than a Samsung? How?
I guess it's not necessarily worse. So, like...
How are they not just the same?
The layout of the keyboard. How it's set up. So, like, the iPhone, it'll be, like, further down to where you have to be holding it. Whereas, like, this phone, you can kind of hold it awkwardly and still do what you need to do. The iPhone, which is probably exactly what they want you to do, because they want the phone firmly in your hand and they want you to be staring at. So kudos to them. Great. They sold me a fucking product.
Pop socket deformed my fingers.
I don't fucking have those.
I had one for a little bit.
That's so lazy to me. It's like you can't hold your phone.
It's just a different way to hold it.
If your hand starts getting tired, set it fucking down. You've been looking at it too long.
Yeah.
But no, like, we are getting so far into...
Just moved in.
Oh. We are getting, like, so far into, like, the tech stuff where it's almost like our 8 brains can't wrap our heads around it because we're still trying to figure out a way why we're being tracked or how we're being tracked. And it's like... Everything is tracked. Dude, TikTok literally has... because I have a TikTok, it has access to my laptop. That I never have ever never been on TikTok on that fucking laptop. It has access to my fingerprints, my facial scanner. It has access to everything because of TikTok. It says it. I only have it, obviously, because of this bullshit.
Social media reasons. Which, okay.
But I also
it's
personally,
honestly,
I don't care.
It's kind of really hard because I don't want to be tracked like that. And I've been contemplating it for a long time as far as, like, deleting my... I did deactivate my Facebook for a little while. I want to delete all my social media, but then it's like... I've been getting leads off of social media. If you're not consistently on social media, you're not evolving in your business. Can I do it without social media? Yes. Is it convenient to have and will I grow faster with social media? Also, yes. So I think it's like a whole thing. It's like, fuck, like, you can't not have it. You can.
So yes and no. So, like, example, I'm not a super social media. I'm not a gigantic fan of social media. 1, it's toxic. 2, it takes way too much fucking time. 3, I'm not creative in that sense. And I just don't have the patience to continuously post. And I don't have the patience to look for shit to continuously post. Right? I dread waking up on Monday mornings because I know I have to get on there and I have to post all of my shit to socials. And you know what that has made me do? Almost never get on social media because that one thing I don't like doing, I just never want to fucking be on it.
Yeah.
However... sometimes you got to do what you got to do to get to a certain point. Then you can pay somebody. If you can pay somebody, and if you just had a real estate page,
but that's not my point. Like,
you can pay somebody to run a real estate page.
But that's not my point. My point is, like, I don't want to be tracked like that. So the real estate pages will be mine anyway, and I'm gonna be tracked even more because it's like, now it's also my business, not just my personal. My point is, like, I don't want to be tracked, but I have to allow to be tracked in that way in order for my business to grow. I mean, it's not a have to. I can do it without it.
There ain't shit you're going to do to not be tracked.
Yeah, that's true.
You have a fucking iPhone.
That's true.
So whether you have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, fucking 4chan.
I'm going to win the lottery and just, like, elope to somewhere where I can't get tracked.
Well, I mean...
I'm going to buy a little Cessna and, like, fly to a remote island that I bought with all my money.
I legit just, like, don't think... Unless you go to a completely deserted island that has not been looked at by satellites or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, you straight up Tom Hanks it.
Yeah.
You're gonna be, it is what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Like, the issue is I don't personally care about being tracked. Mm-hmm. So what am I doing you're gonna track me. It is what it is. Yeah. Am I going back to a flip phone? No. However, there is a happy medium. I can leave my phone that's why I have 2 phones. I can leave one of my phones at home and I can take my other phone if somebody needs to get in touch with me. Mm-hmm. But I can completely leave it somewhere that I'm not even at. But guess what? They still know where I'm at because of my truck.
Yeah.
They know where you are because you're Jeep.
Yeah.
They know where we are because the fucking...
Because I pump gas.
Chips that they keep putting in our bodies.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Be fucking...
You know, I used to think that... my mom told me that, like, she would know whenever, like, I would sneak out or go here or go there because I had a tracker in my belly button that she put there when I was born and it was an option.
That's the worst part about becoming an adult is realizing that your fucking parents are compulsive liars and you're like... Y'all have fucked my vision of the world up so much because y'all have made me so paranoid.
How did you find out that Santa Claus wasn't real?
I found my mom's list, and then I found the actual gifts in the garage.
Aww.
So, like...
You don't know how I found out? So... It was me and my little sister. We were home alone. Like, I was already...
You just ruined all of these kids that watched a show that think that Santa Claus is real. Kids, y'all shouldn't be watching this anymore.
Don't be watching this. Can you
fault.
put, like...
You need better parents.
#rated R, don't watch, because...
Well, yeah, Select is not made for kids. Doesn't mean that they don't watch it, but...
That's true. Anyways, so you find out that Santa Claus isn't real through this show, it's your own fault. Anyway, I'm kidding. But I found out because me and my sister were playing God knows what, and we were... I think I was, like, in 6th grade, and she was still in... She's 2 years younger than me, so she was, like, in 4th grade. And we were playing God knows what, and we needed a suitcase. And I think I was trying to fit her in a suitcase, if I'm being honest. But we go to the guest room because we had, like, extra storage space. And we pull down this one suitcase that we found, and all of our Santa Claus letters were in there. She cried. And I was like, it's okay. We're going to pretend we still think Santa Claus is real.
That's fucked up.
So we pretended we still believed in Santa Claus for, like, another 3 years.
We've been lied to.
It's okay. Sometimes it's for the best.
I always think about that whenever I'm whenever I'm a parent.
I can't believe Santa Claus isn't real. Is that what you think?
No, but I did hear something that made me think about Santa Claus is not necessarily a healthy thing to believe in. It is, but it's not, because I did read somewhere, like this thing where they were talking about like if you're an underprivileged person and then you're like going to school and somebody got like something really, they got a fucking...
Oh, I get you. Yeah.
I don't even know what the Nintendo
I got an Xbox
fucking whatever
and you
thing
got
it is.
shoes.
They're bragging about it, but this other kid, and then they're like, well, Santa Claus hates me.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, Santa Claus doesn't hate you. Like, your parents are just broke. Like, I don't, what do you do about it? And that did make me think, too.
See, I never had that problem. I guess because we were only allowed, because we were told you can only ask for 1 or 2 things because you can't be selfish at Santa Claus, He has to give everybody else gifts. So we could only ask for, 1 or 2 things, and then, sometimes Santa Claus would write us a letter back, oh, I couldn't get you this because XYZ, Santa Claus reasons. But we would
That's some hoe shit, dog. Like, he has slaves.
Yes, slaves. They're not slaves. They're elves. And they live a beautiful, happy life.
You know what they fucking called that a long time ago? Slaves.
No.
Does he pay them?
Yes.
In what? Bubblegum and fucking peppermints?
No. They have a beautiful life, and
they
don't
let
have to
him
pay
run
for anything.
trains on Mrs. Claus or what?
Why do you always revert back to such dirty things? I don't understand.
Because what would you pay elves in? What would you pay elves in?
Okay. If you, let's say.
I don't know an elf,
hold on.
so I don't know what they like.
Okay.
I don't know what they enjoy.
Let's say. You worked for me, and all you had to do was, like, make something. Let's say you made...
Are you paying me?
Hold on. Let me finish my scenario.
Okay.
Let's say you're making a bat. You're making bats, and you're really good at making bats, and you're making bats, but you don't have to pay for food. You don't have to pay for electricity. You don't have to pay for water. You don't have to pay for where you live. You can get whatever you want. Whatever you want, you can make it or have somebody else make it. Like, you live a beautiful life.
Where am I living, though?
Whatever house you want in the North Pole.
Well, I mean, that's a bold statement because, like, you're leaving a lot to be desired on that.
Elaborate.
Am I living in a fucking shack that's 9x9, or am I living in a mansion?
Wherever you want.
Which, to be fair, it's an elf, so a tiny house is probably suffice. But
like you'd probably want like an acre, and it'd feel like 5 because you're an elf.
Well, but you can't live on an acre because if everybody has an acre, well, it's gonna take you 30 minutes to get to the factory.
Which is fine.
No, it's not, because to my knowledge, elves don't have cars. The only one that can get magical reindeers anyways, is Santa Claus.
Can't elves fly anyway?
I've never seen that. I've never heard of elves flying. You think they're snorting pixie dust?
Whew.
Is that from Santa Claus too? Is that how they're getting paid in fucking pixie coke?
Pixie Coke. Did you hear that there's this thing called pink Coke right now, and it's not even Coke. It's like MDMA and ketamine, and it's like that's a popular drug right now.
No.
Oh, I just read it like a day or 2 ago.
I don't read as much as I used to. I used
reading.
to read way more. But now I'm dumb, and I have dumb friends, so I never talk about smart shit.
Who are your friends now? Who are your friends now?
I don't even know.
Same.
Cut a lot of ties off with people.
Same.
Ain't a two-way street.
Mm-hmm.
Same. They don't check for you the same way you check for them. So
yeah.
It is what it is. You just outgrow people. You have to handle your business. It doesn't have to be a hateful thing.
Yeah. No, it's just you grow up and you move on. Different people.
Plus, I'm a fucking grown-ass man who's like healed himself.
Yeah. Same.
I'm fine with sitting at my house.
Mm-hmm.
I have enough friends to where, like, if I want to go out, I can go out. Like,
okay, I put it in this way. Like, I was thinking about it. It's like, who would be my bridesmaids? Or, like, who would be, like, your groomsmen, you know?
Yeah, I don't care because I'm getting married at a courthouse.
Okay, yeah.
No, my girl don't want to do that. She ain't got a fucking choice, dog. I'm just kidding.
Just kidding for this podcast reason. I'm just kidding.
I don't see the point in having a wedding. Like, I don't. What is the point of me going into debt for one fucking day?
See, but
let me spend $5,000 on a honeymoon.
Yeah.
It's like weddings are so expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And for what?
But I feel like you could make an inexpensive big wedding.
Completely depends if you got the time for it. Just a wedding planner on its own is expensive.
Shit, I can plan my own damn wedding.
I ain't got the fucking time for that. And I damn sure know my girl ain't got the patience for that.
I have an awesome, awesome mom. She totally I'd be like, Mom, any help? Surprise me.
Well, I mean, like, you could probably do it cost effective, but even then...
I mean, it's still a lot of money to spend, yes. But I feel like weddings are so much fun. Why would I not?
My thing is like, okay, you can do an intimate wedding, maybe spend like $1,000 just getting people together, and then you could have a dope honeymoon for like $5,000, and you're still not spending nowhere near as much as some of these other people.
Which, okay, I'm thinking.
I have friends that make as much as I do, and they spent $30,000 on a wedding, and it's like,
bro, how? And
it wasn't even difficult. Wasn't even difficult. They even went budget on a bunch of shit. It was just the options. It was the venue. They were like, you wouldn't imagine how quickly shit adds up.
I mean, I had a quinceañera.
But like $30,000, a car, a down payment on a house, XYZ, whatever it might be. On what?
But
a fucking wedding.
Okay. I feel like intimate dinner at the church. I mean, everybody's welcome at the church. It's not gonna cost too much. And
what
then
if they're atheists?
Well, I mean, they can come if they don't want to. I mean, if they want to come, they can come. If they don't want to come, they don't have to come. It's my fucking wedding. I don't give a fuck. I'm getting married at a church. Anyway, but it's like have the church thing and then go and like have a dinner and like only invite like XYZ people. And then afterwards, just have a huge party and everybody's invited to the party. But that way I'm not paying for like dinner and whatever.
I mean,
like a badass party at like my house or something afterwards.
I think it 100% just depends on the relationship you have. Here's the reason why I'm against big weddings.
Okay, tell me.
Same reason why I'm against judging someone's life based on Instagram.
Yes.
All it is you're trying to show people you got it. It is what, like, okay, that's cool. What is a big wedding going to do for the love that I have for the person I'm marrying?
Okay, I see your point.
Like, okay, I understand that, like, you want those memories for the rest of your life. But we're fucking married now. Like, we're married. We have the rest of our lives to make all the memories that we're married. Yeah. I get that you want a wedding. But I also don't feel like going 10 grand, 15 grand in a debt.
I get your point.
So, like, for me, I personally would, and that's the same exact way that I feel about a ring. Is like, there's guys that'll spend $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 on a ring, and I'm like, bitch, you wear that to the fucking store. You like, why do you need something that not like? Yeah. No, it's only so you can be like, oh my god, bitch, and you're fucking posting it up, and it glistens, and it does all this shit. Like, it doesn't mean I love you more because I bought you a nice ring. No, I'm not saying go buy a fucking $50 ring. But, like, that whole, like, a man should spend 2 paychecks on a ring. Why would any woman want their dude to fucking go broke, but, like, picking out a ring?
I see your point.
And I also think it's very unfair to put that type of responsibility on a man. Yeah. When it's like, what does this ring have to do with how I feel about you, or how maybe I'm not a materialistic person. Maybe I don't look at a ring and I say, this is exactly how much I love you because I was willing to splurge. I don't look at shit like that.
What do you splurge on? Tools?
No, I only bought my tools because it was job related.
What do you like to splurge on?
Real life stuff. Like my pickup truck, for example. I wanted a nice pickup truck. I bought a nice pickup truck. Okay. I've splurged on stupid shit before. Going out to eat, alcohol, whatever.
Well, like, whenever you want to go shopping for something, what do you shop for?
So, it's usually clothes, but I don't buy clothes that often.
How about, like, boots? Do you like boots?
I literally will only buy brand new pair of boots if I have holes in the ones that I had before. I do spend on watches, but I haven't bought watches in a while.
Okay, so, like, if I like, let's say we're partners, right? And I wanted to get something for you for your birthday. I want to splurge on you and get you a really nice, awesome watch that's expensive because I give you that value. But it's not because it's expensive. It's because, hey, I am taking my time that I used to work because I think money is time.
So let me counter that.
Okay.
You have to know the person, right? Because if you were to come and bring me a Rolex, as grateful as I would have been, you could have also given me a $5,000 Breitling, and I would have been just as ecstatic. You could have given me a $1,000 G-Shock Mr. G. I'm just as ecstatic. You could give me a $500 watch.
Exactly, but that's so you're not getting my point. So my point is,
my thing is
not expensive for me, but it's like I spent money on you because this is what I could spend on, is what I could afford to spend on, because I am giving you, hey, I only make this much, but I spent this much for you because I wanted to give that to you.
No,
like whether it was $500 or $5,000, like.
No, like I understand what you're saying, But ultimately, I think it comes down to like your partner, right? Like, how do they see stuff?
Yeah.
Right? Are they somebody that's perfectly fine in $50 shoes, or do they want the red bottoms? Right? For me, I don't personally care.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look at that $500, $300 watch,
and you're still gonna be just as grateful. Yeah.
Just as like I'm gonna be like, oh my god, like she loves me, like she bought me a watch. And in all honesty, if somebody ever bought me a Rolex, I'm going to be like, what the fuck is your problem? Why did you ever spend this amount of money on me?
Yeah.
Unless we just got it like that.
Yeah.
Now, if we're millionaires, okay, it is what it is. Spend the money however you want.
And I think that's what it goes back to. Like, if I can afford this, that's what I'm going to get you.
The issue is, though, is people forget we can't afford it. How many people can afford a $5,000 ring just to blow on a ring? I don't know. Some people can, and that's great for them. But why, if I know that, hey, $5,000 is a lot of money, that's going to put a dent. I don't know. I look at stuff in realistic expectations, right?
I guess we just have different expectations because to me, like, money is money. It's going to come back, and if I want more, I can work more. You know?
It's not really like the money aspect of it. The money aspect of it doesn't necessarily apply to me. It's regardless of what the monetary value of this thing that you're giving me is, it's the thought that matters way more than the money.
Of course.
So for me, it's like, I would personally rather us work on a life together of financial stability than somebody give me an extravagant gift, because I'm going to feel the same. I'm going to be just as ecstatic about what you're giving me because I love you.
Yeah.
So I would be like, well, why don't we just save that money and we get something way cheaper and we try to buy a house and start a life together. Yeah. So that's how I think is like, I don't necessarily, and we also live in a world where people are splurging on all sorts of crazy shit, but they don't got it. They don't got the day to day. So for me, I don't see the point. I have nice watches. They do their fucking job. I don't need an extra one. I don't need anything fancy. I'm at that point in my life. I have a nice truck. The truck is almost paid off. I have equity in a relatively expensive asset. So now if I wanted to go buy me a brand new truck, now I'm only paying half for that brand new truck because I have spent 5-6 years paying off a very expensive truck. In the future, I will buy me a house, and whether it's a $400,000 or $500,000 house, I will have equity in an asset that I can roll over into another thing. I can't do that with the only thing a ring is going to do is whatever you think that does to the amount that I love you. But that's up to the partners to know each other. Like, if my woman knows, hey, he works extremely hard for his money and he's trying to create a better life for us,
I'm not going to require him to.
I would hope that, now I'm not saying buy a $50 ring, but I'm saying, like,
you're not going to be mad if that's what he can afford.
They're going to be happy with whatever I give them because they know what I'm giving them. It was thoughtful, and I
agree with that.
That's
my
mindset.
At the end of the day, it's the intent behind it.
That's my mindset. Now, once again, all of this goes out the fucking door when you just got it like that. Like, when $5,000 is a tip at a restaurant, fuck it. Buy whatever you want, homie. I don't care. But us average folk, $5,000 is a lot of money. $5,000 is that's more than some people make in a month. Like, that is a lot of money for you to just spend on an arbitrary thing that you're just going to wear on your hand. And in most cases, you only want it to be fancy because of how you think other people are going to see y'all's relationship. Like, to me, I just don't think it, because I see it all the time where girls are showing it off. They're showing it off. And I'm like, but does he treat you like what?
Yeah.
That's cool. Like, that's great. Like, that's great, boo-boo. Like, you got a dope ring. Didn't he beat the fuck out of you like a year ago? Like, what?
Yeah.
So, I'm confused.
Dude, oh my God, yes. Okay, so there's this
and that's what I see all the freaking time.
Like, there's this couple that I know, and their life on Instagram is so perfect, and they have cute pictures and cute posts, and it's like, it's one of those couples that you think, oh my God, I wish I was we're traveling all over the world, blah blah. But then you see their real relationship, and it's like he cheats on her consistently, and it's just like, it's just a really bad relationship. But it goes back to like not everything you see on the internet is real. And
for me, the more vocal a couple is, the worse they are. Mm-hmm. Because they're hiding the real. They don't want people to know the reality of their relationships.
I don't think always.
I think most of the time.
But yeah.
Who's as perfect as they are on social media?
Nobody.
Like, nobody.
Yeah.
Everybody has arguments. Everybody has issues. Shit, I told you
Yeah.
Yo, you're fucking annoying me today. Mm-hmm. Just give me a second because you keep.
Yeah.
That's a relationship. That's what happens.
It's real.
You have, but people want to act like that doesn't happen. People want to act like that don't exist.
We're so perfect. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I don't even post my relationship shit on social media because it's nobody's business.
Yeah.
Like, it's people will ask me all the time. They're like, "Oh, are you still with so and so?" And I'm like,
"Yeah."
Yeah.
To you. Yeah.
Why does it matter? Oh, I just haven't seen y'all together. Yeah, I'm busy. We're busy.
Yeah.
When I get a chance to go out, she's doing something. When she gets a chance to go out, I'm working.
Yeah.
We're grown. Why are you grilling us? Mm-hmm. Oh, I'll never see you post nothing. Why do I gotta fucking post her?
Yeah.
I text her I love her every day. Mm-hmm. I call her. We Snapchatted, Kathy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
We got a streak.
We got a streak.
We popping.
Do you need a streak to be official?
Do
you need a streak to be official?
Depends on the relationship. If y'all have a friendly, cutesy whatever, I think it helps because you can be goofy in photos. Mm-hmm. Like, you can send goofy photos with different filters, and you can first of all, I don't see how anybody can have a relationship and be serious.
Yeah. I
Because, like, if you're gonna be with that person 100% of the time, like,
you can't be like,
that sounds incredibly stressful.
Yeah.
But, like, once again, it comes down to the relationship.
Every relationship is different. People are different. What's gonna matter to you is not what's gonna matter to me because we're different people. And
as far as like the wedding goes, it's the same. My thing is like, as far as the wedding situation goes, I would rather save my money and pay for a legit experience.
Yeah, I get your
point.
point.
Fuck the fake bullshit with our family. It is what it is. We're married. You're going to get to come over to our house.
Yeah.
And I'm going to barbecue for you. It is like, whatever.
Yeah.
Y'all are probably going to get fucked up and throw up and cost me my whole deposit.
Cost me my whole deposit.
I would rather do something incredibly small and go to Italy.
Yeah. And
create like legitimate experiences. Do things fun with the person that I'm meant to spend the money on. Mm-hmm. But once again, weddings are now I understand like it's a celebration and it's XYZ. I guess. Mm-hmm. Why is everybody in my business like that? Mm-hmm. Like, come over, meet,
You want to meet my
see
person?
Our family.
Yeah.
Like, you can hang out with us. I don't need to spend $20,000 to do all of that. Like, we're going to get this. You're going to get time with us. It is what it is. But to me, I feel like it's so entrenched in just what we feel like it's supposed to be that people are just willing. And now it's also different for a woman because a woman, she watches fucking Princess Diaries or whatever when she's.
Yo, that's a thing.
It's a very real thing where they're like 5 years old and they're planning their whole wedding and they have zero idea about nothing. And by the time they're old enough, they're 18 years old, they can start dating whoever they want.
And then you end up dating the wrong guy.
And they're just so ready for that Princess Diaries moment where it's like...
Or you find the right man and everything's going to be so perfect and ooh, wow. And that's not how it happens.
Or the fucking worst is I love you and he paints them walls and now you're stuck with a dickhead baby daddy. Which happens.
I just got what she meant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that happens a lot too.
I'm so grateful that I did not end up with the person I thought I wanted to be with. Like...
Most people... So I have some friends that they're going through a divorce. And she was like, I feel bad because I wanted to make it work and, so on and so forth. But I'm like, y'all got together young. Like, you're not the same person at 30 as you were at 23.
Yeah.
Way different. If you ask 23-year-old me to commit, yeah, I could probably commit, but what does that even mean? What is a 23-year-old's version of commitment?
I mean, I'm 23.
But okay,
and honestly,
hold on. But to be fair, a woman's version of commitment,
yeah, very different than a man.
Now, I'm not saying all. I don't want to generalize men. Not all. You know, there's some men that are built for that shit, right? There's some relationship guys.
But like, okay, let me cut you off. Again, not cut you off, but everybody is different. Like the last guy I dated was 7 years older than me, and our relationship, he's still this type of, like, he's 32 and he's still like not a commitment person and blah blah blah. And then I meet somebody else and they're younger and they're so forth for commitment, and it's just like age isn't really a thing. It's just the mentality of it.
But that's not necessarily my point. Is like I fully understand that, because I have friends that are my age and I'm like, they're talking about what's the move. Go to fucking bed, bro. Your knees are...
What's the move?
Your knees are popping. What are you talking about? Your babies have been hungry for 3 days. Go to fucking work. What do you mean, what's the move?
Yeah.
But, no, that's not necessarily what I mean, though. Is, like, you change so much to think that you get married at 23 and you think that this is the man you're going to spend your whole, your whole life with. But it takes evolving. Like, who are you at 25? Who are you at 27? Who are you at 30?
It goes back to, like, the nitty-gritty of commitment. Like, if I'm committing to you, I am committing to grow with you.
But that's easier said than done.
Of course.
So, like, and
I feel like that's another thing that, like, commitment and marriage and all this that we grow up watching is so glamorized. But when you get down to nitty-gritty, shit is hard. If you want it to work, shit is hard. You know?
Yeah.
There's great moments and there's easy parts and there's beauty in it, but it takes hard work to get the beautiful part, you know?
I always I used to ask my friends this question. I'm going to ask you because I want to see what you say.
Oh, God.
Crazy relentless love or compatibility? Because you can love somebody and they be completely wrong for you. But if you're compatible, you might not have that crazy love, but
I think there's a middle.
This isn't a middle type deal. I agree with you.
I think there's a middle because...
But which one is more important in the relationship? I lean heavily towards compatibility.
See...
I think that you obviously got to love that person you're with. But I've also been in love with somebody that was horrible for me. And now I'm with somebody that I'm extremely compatible with, but I love her.
See, it's a difficult question for me because I was extremely in love with somebody that was super, super compatible to me. We liked all the same stuff. We liked the same music. We liked to do the same things. We had the same hobbies. Like, we were very, very similar people. And then it gets down to, like, the core values and stuff, and that's where we were different, but I didn't realize that till, like, way later. But I was head over here, like, super, super in love with this person.
But hear me out, though.
But my healthiest relationship I've ever been in, we're very opposite people. We like completely different music, completely different hobbies, like, just very, very different. But our core values and our morals and what we want at the end of the day are very, very much the same. So it's like, and I love him, and it's just a very different kind of love. It's not a reckless love. Like, it's I don't know. It's just different. It's a very peaceful, it's just a very different love.
But, okay, so hear me out.
Okay.
One of those that you just described is compatibility. The other is commonality.
Okay.
One is, hey, what our vision is the same, what we like is the same in certain ways. We come together and we come up with solutions. Mm-hmm. The other one is, I can have a beer with you. Like, that's not to dismiss what the relationship is, but it's like we're more friends than we are partners. Lovers in the grand scheme of it all. Yeah. So one is compatibility, one is commonality.
I had never seen it that
way.
So,
like, that's why they always say opposites attract, right? It's because.
And I never used to believe in that until I found
but it is
an
very
opposite.
because the last person you want to fucking date is yourself. That is an incredibly narcissistic thing to do, right? Is like if you're gonna end up dating yourself,
why be with somebody?
You must think you're perfect. Like that's the craziest shit in the world.
Yeah.
That's why you have one loud person and you have one quiet person. Every now and again, you'll find a weird.
But it's a different. Isn't it funny how like that's such a different type of compatibility? Like we're so compatible because in the things that I lack, he makes up for, and vice versa.
But that's the exact
thing that you're talking about.
That's the exact version of compatibility.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas you might have this passionate love with this other guy, and like, yeah, hey, things might be cool. But he also might cheat on you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't think that's to diminish a compatible love, though. I feel like it can be one more passionate, and I think it's just not reckless.
Like I said, in a perfect world, you're 100% right. There is an in-between zone. Right? But where... The
like
reason
if I had to pick between the two?
Why I asked that question is, what does somebody feel like is more important in a relationship? And I always lean more towards compatibility. Who do I want to talk to about my problems? Who do I know won't judge me? Who can I count on to like? If my girl gets pregnant, right? Like if I was to create a family. Who would I rather be the mother of my child? The person I'm crazy in love with, or the person that I know?
Okay, so speaking of like,
you're pregnant?
No, God, no.
You gotta
not ready for
wrap
that.
It
but
before
like,
you slap it.
But I was thinking about that, like, not to get like too personal into my life, but
it's only it's only going on YouTube.
Only going on YouTube.
This will be the one that goes viral.
God, watch it.
Just kidding.
You know what? Even if it did. Like, good for your podcast.
Good for my fucking podcast.
Good for your fucking podcast.
Go viral.
But no, like, okay, so the person that I thought I was, like, super, super in love with, head over heels, blah, blah, blah. As much as I thought I loved that person, I was scared shitless to have a kid with him. Like, I did not want a kid with him. Like, but the person that I love, like, now I have no, and not, like, now, but it's so different. Just, like, the feeling. Like, it's, like, a gut feeling that I didn't want as much as I love that person. It was like I did not want to kid. But then the person that like I love in a different kind of love and that I feel so secure and this and that, I would not have a problem having his kid.
So what my understanding of all of that stuff is, that gentleman that you did not want to have a child with, there was something about their character, something about their personality, and it triggers something from your childhood, triggers something inside of you that it makes them not reliable. Like, and I'm not saying...
I wouldn't say it from, like, my childhood or anything, but I think just as a person, there was... And I don't know. I was kind of blinded to it because I didn't realize it until I sat down after the relationship and I thought about it like, oh shit, like yeah.
But it might not even be from your childhood. It could be something earlier in the relationship. Maybe it was something he did on the third date. He didn't open your door.
He just wasn't a reliable person.
But like he didn't open your door, and you're like, that, you know what I mean? Like that's a tell of character. Like you either open every door or you don't. Like it. You know what I'm saying? So there might be something. And that's usually what triggers that, is there's something inside that, and also, once again, I've already said this before, we try to outsmart our fucking,
ourselves.
We're an animal.
Yeah.
Just like a dog barks to scare something off, like a dog chases its tail because he thinks something's attacking him. Like, we have instincts. Yeah. We have feelings.
Yeah, we do.
We have, anxiety is literally a defense mechanism. We can, now... We're idiots because we think we know better.
Yep.
But we know when somebody isn't good for us. Yep. And sometimes we can even talk ourselves into doing the wrong thing.
So I think if you look at like your question, like the nitty gritty of your question, it's a reliable person or a not reliable person, whether you love them or not.
The person that you're relentlessly in love with could be either. We've all loved somebody who wasn't reliable.
Yeah.
We've all loved somebody who was.
Yeah, I guess so.
But to me, if you ask me that question, my main target would be
compatibility.
Which one works? Love is very, especially that passionate shit.
I feel like love is an action. Love is in the actions that you do. Like, yes, it's a feeling, but you can tell me you love me all day long, but if you're out there doing shit behind my back, like, do you actually love me?
Yeah, but but there's a difference because they're just saying they love you.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like it.
But I feel it 110. Like, I feel super head over heels for you, and I love you. But like,
by definition, he's lying.
Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't love you. So.
But I also feel like there's people that don't know how to love.
It's like I could say I'm a bulldog.
Roof.
Am I lying?
I mean, no, because that's what your high school mascot was. But are you a bulldog? No.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I could sit there and be like, "You're the only girl I'm talking to."
Bullshit.
And is it true? I don't. I'm the only one that knows.
But then it goes down to trust.
But it's one of those things. I could tell somebody I love them.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't mean that I'm being honest about it. It doesn't mean that that's
because it should be your actions backing it
up. The
up.
difference is 100% it is a feeling, but all of your actions are through the feeling. I'm doing this thing because I genuinely love you.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this thing. I could say that, but ultimately I don't have that feeling.
If my actions don't meet up, yeah, it's not a thing.
It's not a feeling because I don't mean it.
Mm-hmm.
So love is, I think you can learn to love somebody who's compatible. You know what really opened my eyes to it is arranged marriages.
Yes. Okay. It's been on my mind. I've been trying to pull it up.
Like opened my minds to it because I listened to people from like India and they were talking about it. And they're like, yeah, that's a Western civilization thing. Like, who are y'all to fucking...
Which is kind of funny that it's like a Western civilization, because that's a lot of the reason that like people left the society from that side of the world many, many years ago, and that's how like America was. But like to them,
it's
just
just so abstract. Is they're like, no, my job as a woman is to do this, and his job as a man to do this. We're not arranged to marry if we cannot uphold
compatible. Yeah,
you know what I mean. Yeah. And they were like, you're thrown into this situation. Like, we can't get a divorce. So you fucking deal with it. You learn how to deal with it. So I like listen to them and I'm like, damn, so they learn how to be compatible. And a lot of them did end up saying, they're like, through compatibility, you learn how to love them.
Yeah.
Because they're the parents to your kids. Like, y'all spend every day together. Like,
yeah, you love them.
And in certain, religions, like, you can't cheat.
Yeah.
Some you can. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it is what it is. I think both people sign up for that. But, like, that opened my eyes where I'm like, damn, you need to be fucking compatible. That love shit is reckless. Like, that love shit can get you hurt. That love shit can make you do dumb shit. But that if you find somebody you're compatible with,
I just think they're two different kinds of loves.
Well, one is a sustainable love. I think the other is, I ain't saying you can't sustain it.
I think it's
I think the other one is unrealistic.
Yes. I think it's like one of those like marketed love. Like, oh my God, we do this. It's like, it's so picture perfect. It's so like a movie.
It's the love like fucking rose petals leading to the bed with candles on. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, but most relationships ain't that. Maybe it happens on Valentine's Day. Like, maybe it happens once in a blue moon.
I feel like,
and I think
if that's what's special to you and you want to do that for your person, awesome.
But I'm saying, like, that's not an
everyday picture. Yeah.
Fucking common thing. Like, that's, and in all honesty, girls don't want a dude who's gonna do that, and a guy doesn't want a girl who's gonna need that. Like, that's so much to upkeep. Like, that's not a relationship thing. It's, can I chill on the fucking couch with you?
Yeah.
Because that's what we're going to do 90% of the time while I'm home. Can we lay in bed together? Do you get mad if I turn my back to you? do we have compatible sex? Do we like the same foods? Like, can we fucking bounce ideas off each other? Can we communicate? Like,
yeah,
those are things that so many relationships can't, like, they don't have because
can you be my friend?
They have this ruthless, crazy, passionate love, and they fuck like crazy, and they have all the good times, and 6 months in, they're like, well, what do we do? I low-key fucking hate you. I'm exhausted. Like, I don't even know what to talk to you about.
Yeah.
And then, you know.
I don't know. I feel like.
I think that's why you got to be friends with them before you date them.
I feel like there is compatible love that can spark all that for you, you know?
Yeah, but I think they're different kinds. I think they're different versions of that. I think one's a slow burn and the other one's just fucking gasoline on a fire.
I don't.
Now,
I get your point. I get your point. But I don't feel like just because it's a compatible love, you're not going to have passion and things that spark.
No. But I'm not saying that. I do think that you can be compatible and, like, just crazy. I mean, there's people all the fucking time where they're like, the first time I ever seen her, I knew I was going to marry her. Mm-hmm. She's also threw up in the bathroom 3 fucking times. Like, sure, you're like, what is going on? But, like, you can have both. To me, I wonder what is more important. Because you kind of get a glimpse of what is important. Mm-hmm. Or their realistic expectations of a relationship. Because we are tainted with our versions of relationships.
I think one of the things that, like, helped me was, I mean, honestly, my parents have a pretty good relationship. Were they each other's first marriage? No. Like, they grew up next door neighbors. Life happened. They grew apart. Or they didn't grow apart. They just moved and had their own lives. And then they ended up meeting each other again. And then they married, had me. I was perfect. Blah, blah, blah. But no, like, I see them and, like, I see their day-to-day. And I see how they make each other feel special. And, like, I see their compatibility, 2. I see their friendship. And 3, like, the things that they do for each other to make each other feel special. Like, my dad knows what's special to my mom, and my mom knows what's special to my dad. If my mom wants to spend extra time with my dad, she goes and helps him work on the trucks, and, like, vice versa. My mom has her hobbies, and it's like,
that's very compatible, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're finding ways. The ways that they're finding to spend time is maybe not the most, like, not even romantic. It's literally like, hey, I just want to be around you.
Yeah.
And to me, that is extremely compatible.
But they also do the stuff that it's like, I'm going to be romantic for you, you know? But I guess, like, everybody's definition of, I don't know, like, what's romantic to my mom is not romantic to me. Like, my mom wants to, I don't know, I can't even think of something right now. But I like something different. But that doesn't mean that the person that you're compatible with isn't going to do those stuff for you.
But that's everybody.
Yeah.
You know, what I think is romantic is completely different than what you might find romantic.
Yeah.
What Celeste might find romantic. I'm not a very romantic person.
Oh, I'm romantic.
At the point of me even getting into a relationship, I tell them,
you're my girlfriend now, that's it, that's all.
No, like, my love language is I care.
Yeah.
I care. So, I might not be the one who buys you rings and jewelry and whatever, like, because it slips my mind. Like, I don't think about it. Mm-hmm. In my head, I was just raised to be there. Mm-hmm. Listen to them, talk to them, help them, push the buggy, always drive, open doors, do all of this stuff. But at the same time, I'm not a very romantic person. I've tried being romantic, and I fell flat on my fucking face. And it is what it is. And,
But it goes back to your partner knowing you, and knowing what love to you is. You know, like, if your person doesn't know that caring is your love language, they're never going to feel loved.
Yeah, it just depends. Like, because it's also communication, too. Mm-hmm. Like, because my version of, like, my love language, it can often be overlooked. Like, oh, this is just our relationship, right?
But no, like, that's something that's special to you.
But mine isn't as flashy as a brand new ring.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Mine doesn't come in a pretty box with a bow.
Mm-hmm.
Mine is, yo, I call you at work. When I don't have to.
And for some people, that's enough.
And some people, that's zero.
Not. Yeah.
Right? So, it's just a matter of, like...
compatibility.
I'm an you know me. I'm an extremely open book in the sense of, like, this is how I am. It is what it is. I'm not going to say that I can't grow, and I'm not going to say that I won't grow.
And somebody's going to love you for that. But for somebody else, that's not enough. Yeah.
Like, example in my relationship right now. I don't feel like, could I buy gifts? Okay. But to me, the way I love her and the way I love her daughter, fuck all the rings, fuck all the extra shit. Maybe that's cool to get because it's like I said, it's a shiny thing in a box. But I'm not just falling off of trees.
Yeah.
There's guys that will do the same thing as me. But I would have to say that we're more of a commodity than we are a common person. How many guys are looking at single moms and genuinely are like, I'm fine with this situation as it is, and I want to be in this relationship.
Yeah, you're loving her as a person and not for, like...
So to me, I'm like, that's my love language. I love your daughter like she's my own. Like, it is what it is. If she wants to call me dad, she can call me dad. If she doesn't, she doesn't. It is what it is. Like, that is my love language.
You're so cute.
But, like, that is, but that is often overlooked because once you get into the rigorous just...
But I feel like that's another thing. Is, like, you can't compare your relationship to my relationship. Like, I'm talking, like, just in general. Like, not saying us, but, like, if I was a girl and I'm comparing... Well, I am a girl. But I'm comparing my love to somebody else. And they're getting this or they're seeing that, blah, blah, blah. That's special to them. That's not what's special to me. And I feel like a lot of... Like, sometimes that's lost in, like, oh, I'm just comparing. And you forget the love that you're actually receiving.
Well, like, my thing is, as I see that, and I'll like, some of my friends will start dating these girls or whatever. I'm like, all right, call me in a year. Call me when you've been with her for a year. You still buying her the same shit? What are y'all doing in a year?
Yeah.
Cool. Holler at me. If you're still that gung ho over doing everything you're doing. Because the other problem I have with buying people shit is I'm not trying to buy you. Right?
Yeah, no, not at all.
Like, I'm not trying to buy you. I understand that you want, I understand what you want. Like, the other day, like, I owed, my girl helped me out with some money because I had some issues with something. I paid her back the money and I sent her $50 and said, go get your nails done for your birthday. That's not something I do all the time, but to me, I do it so rarely that when I am doing it, I would hope that it's like, yo, okay, cool. Like, I really appreciate this. So, now whether she takes it as that, you know what I'm saying? I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, it's just complicated, especially the longer the relationship goes on, because you have to find new ways to show it. You have to innovate new ways.
But I feel like then it goes down to, like, what was the foundation that the relationship was built on? Like, what are all the little things?
We fuck really good. That's pretty good. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Happy for you.
It's pretty cool. Like, but we also started out as friends.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, we've had our issues, and both of us have our own weird, you know what I mean? Like, quirks and insecurities and whatever it may be. Me probably more than her, but, like, okay. Like, does that make me fucking less of a man? No. Not really. So
people are just people. You gotta be human.
And that's the other thing is, like, just understand that I am the way that I am, and, like, it does suck because sometimes that does mean that I hurt people because I'm not comfortable, or I'm overthinking, or I'm so used to just disappearing from a situation and then working on myself or whatever it may be, and I might end up hurting people.
But do you work on making yourself not that person?
I do my best, but it's just like anything else. It's constant work. And you think you're fine, and then you hit a moment of insecurity, and then you just, maybe you're stressed, maybe you're overstimulated, maybe you're doing 100 different things, and you're only sleeping 4 hours out of the night, then you're trying to do XYZ, right? And you take it out in a completely different way than you should.
Yeah.
And then all it takes is that one little insecurity. And also, like when you've been with yourself your whole life,
it's different being with somebody else.
It's easier for you to just be like, fuck this relationship. I'm going back to being alone. Yeah. I'm going to handle this shit alone, and then I'll figure it out later.
But then it goes back to commitment. Are you committed to working on yourself to work to be a better partner?
But sometimes you have to learn commitment.
Like 100%.
So like you have to, and 100%, you are right. It's just a matter of,
are you willing to do the work?
It's just a process. Like, as a damaged human being, like I said.
But it's a choice. Like, I'm not saying that your damage was a choice. Shit happens. Shit hurts. We get our habits and the gunk that builds up over time and our personality. But it takes work to take off all that gunk. Like, oh, when this happens, I lash out like this. It takes for me to say and acknowledge, that's not healthy. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to continue to do that. I'm going to commit to change that in myself. And it's work. It's hard work. I'm not saying it's easier said than done.
But here's the issue with that, though, right? Is how do you solve depression? You can work out. Works for some people. You can supplement vitamins. Works for some people.
Sometimes you can't solve it.
So,
but then it takes a supportive partner.
The reason why I use depression is because at the end of the day, it is a mind thing, right? So while I'm not going to sit there and just jump to the conclusion of like I go through depressive episodes.
But that's normal.
It's just like you telling somebody who is chronically depressed, fucking smile. You know?
But it's not the same thing.
But when you have self-doubt, right? And you can keep on and keep on and keep on and keep on, and you're doing good. You're
still gonna have your moments.
But it takes like this for you to fall into one of those episodes. Now, 99% of the time, you can have the wherewithal to say, "I got this. We're going to solve this in a healthy way. We understand what's going on. This is going to be it."
But sometimes it can't be solved.
But then it's just like that depressed person who has learned, hey, when I'm feeling this way, go do this. But then there's just one day they can't fucking get out of bed. And those are the moments I'm talking about, is when you do all of this work on yourself and you think you're doing better, and then you just have this moment, right? And then y'all are getting into an argument. Well, and then you're thinking about these other things you got to go. Then you have a bad day at work. And then everything's just going down, and all you're looking for is one positive thing. And now you start looking at the relationship as a hassle. Because that's a self-defense mechanism.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying that it's healthy in any way, but you can divert from all of that help that you gave yourself and that bettering yourself into it, because your default,
but then it just takes
whatever your mind is, it's your default.
The person, like, it's just it takes your partner knowing you. Like, if your partner knows, well, shit.
That's not always true. There's a lot of people that go through that stuff and it's in silence, and you have no idea. You know what I'm saying? Like, but then it's
not that it's my fault, but then I should be communicating that to you if you're my partner. Like, hey, you know what? Sometimes I go through this. I don't want to talk to you. Just give me my space, or this is what I need, blah, blah, blah. And whenever you go through your episodes, that person's going to understand what you need. Sometimes we don't even know what we need. And it's just having somebody that understands.
But at the same time, though, like, if you're in a relationship, that is difficult, because it's like, well, I need space. Well, what do you mean you need space? Well, like, I need, like, time to think. Like, I'm struggling. But what does that mean?
See, but I don't see that as a problem. Like, if we're in a relationship, you tell me, hey, you know what? I need space today. Okay, go have your space.
But sometimes it's not just a day, right? Like, sometimes it's a You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes it's a week. Sometimes it's whatever it is that you need to get through. Mm-hmm. And it's just a process. Mm-hmm. It's a thing. And you have to learn how to make it through it. And sometimes, yes, you do have a default. And that is an issue. And once again, I'm not sitting here like preaching that any of this is healthy, because a lot of people go through this. I talked with a dude that I just started working with, and he was like, I've known the woman I'm married to my whole fucking life, and I still find times to sabotage my relationship. Right? So it's just one of those things where, like, you have a default setting and you're trying to rewire it, but something in your mind just keeps going back to that thing. And then when you've been alone your whole life, there's a default thing that says, like, you know what? I'm better off alone because I can suffer in silence. I can handle this. Now, once again, to all the viewers, this is not healthy, right? Like, that is not healthy. You need to talk to people. You need reconciliation. Like, you need people to give you positive affirmations and so on and so forth to help you. But the problem is there's just sometimes there's fucking zero you could tell me that's going to change my situation. Is going to change how I'm feeling. Is going to change what I'm...
But it takes for me to know that sometimes I can't do anything about it. I don't know. I think
that's easier said than done.
I'm not saying it's easy.
But I'm saying, like, as the other person in the relationship, it leaves you very... That is a tricky situation, because you don't know how you're going to react to that situation until it's there. Because especially when you're in
I don't know. I just feel like everybody's different. Everybody handles things differently. In my opinion, because this is all opinion.
Yeah.
I think it just takes an understanding person. Whether I get it or I don't get it, it takes for me to be understanding of, you know what, you're human. Easier said than done. I still have my feelings. You still have your feelings. But it takes for me to understand that that's just who you are. And it's not for me to understand why you are the way you are or get everything that happens in your brain. But, like, I mean, your personality. Some people understand how you joke and some people don't. Do I get how you joke all the time? No. But I know that you're joking.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? I mean, sometimes, right? But I understand that you're human, and that's it. That's all.
There's another part of it, too, that I think makes it very hard to communicate. Is, like, you're with somebody, right? And you've been with each other for a long time, and you know almost everything about each, at least interaction-wise. Well, when you love somebody, you would do anything for them. So it's one of those situations where, listen, there's nothing you can do for me. This is just how I feel. They take it as an attack. And I'm not saying, like, in the sense that they go on the defensive. But it's like...
Oh, I don't feel like I can do anything
for you.
It's
like a personal attack on them, is where they're like...
But see, again,
I'm not enough, or... And you could be mature about it, and you could handle it in a good way. But even somebody who goes through it, if my girl was to ever come at me the same exact way, I would be like, you're telling me I can't... That's my job. Like, what do you... I would almost feel guilty, because there is nothing I could do to make my woman feel better or take that responsibility and, like, that scared... insecure, whatever moment that she's going through. I can't take that off her plate, and vice versa. And sometimes that takes a very different kind of relationship. And if you don't know how to deal with it, which, let's be 100%, most people don't.
But it depends on the people, and it depends on the relationship.
But what I'm not saying in a mass generalization, because there is a lot of people who have schizophrenia, they have depression, they have bipolar disorder. You know, they have these different things, and people learn how to work around them. But
like my partner is not ADHD, and I'm super ADHD. I get severely depressive episodes. Sometimes we can go out, we cannot go out, and sometimes I'm just fucking depressed. Can he take it away? No. Does he understand why? No, because I don't even understand why. It's just me being fucking ADHD and getting my episodes. But he understands that I'm just going to feel the way I feel. And that's okay. Does he get why all the time? No, because he doesn't go through the same thing. but he understands not necessarily how to handle it, but he understands that sometimes I'm just gonna be the way I am. And I just think it goes back to compatibility. Like, would somebody else that I've dated has understood it? No. But the person that I'm with now, it's because we're compatible enough to understand each other.
Yeah.
And that's probably why you were with the person that you are. You know, like, you guys are compatible enough right now to understand each other.
Well, part of the issue that leads to some of the stuff is 100% me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my fight or flight is to just be alone.
Mm-hmm.
Turn off my phone in the relationship.
But it takes somebody to understand that, to be with you.
Well, and that's all a process,
mm-hmm.
right? Is like, because I'm also, at the same time I'm going through all of this, having to learn what it's like for somebody to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, hey, how's your day? Hey, how's this going? XYZ, right?
But then it goes back to a lot of things that are learned.
It's
like,
it's just difficult
mm-hmm.
because at the end of the day,
it's not easy.
At the end of the day, like, you can go, like, you can go through this whole thing with this person, and you can be in this committed relationship, this loving relationship,
mm-hmm.
and ultimately a great relationship, and you can have everything you've ever wanted. But sometimes you'll just divert to this default mode where your instinct is to just disappear, right? And that is just a...
But that's your thing.
But that is my thing. And I'm not sitting there trying to justify it,
mm-hmm.
right? I'm not even trying to glorify it. I'm not trying to...
you're just explaining.
I'm not trying to make it into a positive thing, because
mm-hmm.
it's definitely not. I
mm-hmm.
wish I wasn't the way that I am. But I'm having to learn in real time what it means to be able to rely on somebody. Somebody wants to be there
mm-hmm.
when my whole entire life I've basically, maybe not directly, but indirectly been told I've never been enough. Right? So at that same time, I have this girl who loves me and wants to be with me, and I don't have to do shit for her.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, it's weird.
Yeah, and so I completely agree there, because the person that I'm with now, like, the amount of reassurance, wow, like, just blown out of the water. It's so fucking weird. I love it. It's everything that I need. It's everything that I've wanted, and I didn't even know that I wanted it or that I need it. But sometimes I get super emotional about it, because it's like, we're together and he's doing this for me, or blah, 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 and we're just having a good time, and then I just fucking get sad. Why? Because any other relationship I've been on, I felt like I was not enough to love. And when you find that person that makes you feel like you're enough to be loved, it's fucking weird. And we want to push them away, and we have our defense mechanisms, and your timing to get used to it is completely different than my timing to get used to it, because everybody is different. But it's like, it's one of those things. It's like, I have to tell myself, it's not about the other person. It's, I have to tell myself that this is okay and I am enough to love. Do you get me?
Yeah. And there's going to be
it's a process.
Yeah.
And there's
going to be times where you're going to self-sabotage it, or the thought's going to cross your mind.
Of course.
And that's just going to be an internal battle that you're going to have to deal with at that time. Mm-hmm.
But it also takes the right, like, not the right partner, but, like, whenever I would do that, because I do self-sabotage sometimes, and I do, like, push people away and blah, blah, blah. But the partner that I'm with now knows that that's my defense mechanism. And he understands that, oh, like, sometimes you just need your space, and I'm still going to show you that I love you, and I'm still going to show you that no matter what you do, like, you are enough. I feel lucky to have you. And vice versa. Like, on a days that he has bad days, he feels like, well, I'm not presentable enough to see you because I'm in a shitty mood. And I'm like, no, dude, you're human. I understand. Like, you don't have to be perfect for me to see you. You don't have to be perfect for me to love you. And I think that's something that is hard for us, like you yourself, to understand that I don't have to be this picture perfect person for somebody to love me. And it goes back to that feeling of I've never been enough because I'm not perfect.
Well, it's not only that. Like, it comes, like I said, you're trying to retrain your mind from years of neglect, like from a child.
It's gonna take a long time to get,
Like, you know, we're just gonna get deep with it. Is there's a thing that crosses, and I'm sure a lot of people will relate to it. I wasn't even enough for my family, right? My dad didn't want me. I've had 2 stepdads pass away. I was left at a very young age to basically raise myself. And I love my mom to death. Like, my mom sacrificed a lot to give us a ultimately good life. Incredibly difficult. But if I wasn't even enough for my family, it's hard for you to
feel enough for yourself or for somebody else.
Fuck myself. I don't care about myself. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that is what it is.
But I feel like the root of it, well, at least for me, the root of it is, like, I felt like I wasn't even good enough for myself. Like, I know I could do better.
For me, I'm like, I know I got it. Like, I know I got myself. Me, I know I can take care of myself. That is not an issue. I'm an incredibly resilient person. And when it comes down to, will I have a place to live and will I have food? Yes. The answer is yes. I will find a way.
Yeah.
So the complication comes into is, like, you just don't know how to be loved. Like, right,
yeah, exactly.
You know, you don't know how to be loved, and that is a weird because the people that were supposed to,
I feel like that's not talked about enough.
But, like, the people that were supposed to love you, and that's not to say my mom didn't love me, right? Like,
people show love in different ways.
To me, there was a lot of stuff my mom did wrong, and there's a lot of stuff that my mom did right. The issue is how I personally perceived it, how I took it, how I grew up, and I didn't have nobody to talk to. I didn't have family. I was home, you know, XYZ, right? It's those are difficult things that I don't think a lot of people talk about, and then we wonder why our relationship is so fucked up when probably half of our population grew up in a single-parent household, and they were so busy just trying to work and hustle that we never even learned how to be properly loved. That doesn't mean that our mom didn't love us.
No, it just means that sometimes we needed a hug. They loved us
so much that they were willing to work 3 jobs to fucking feed us.
But you felt you weren't loved because you didn't get that hug every day, because whenever they'd come home, they were fucking tired and they would just sleep. Or they weren't home, you know? Like, but it takes, I feel like, one, it takes knowing that, oh, okay, that's why I feel this way. And sometimes you don't know why you feel a certain way, but it takes the want to get rid of that, you know? Like,
but that's my point, though. Like, you can do the work, and you can want it. You wish it, want it, do it. You can do all of the excess stuff. You can do all of the self-help. You can go to therapy. You can do everything, right? But there's just, like, all it takes is one time where it just triggers something, and it just, that insecure little fucking whatever you were, teenager, preteen, whoever it was, comes out, and you just get in this zone where you're like, fuck. And then it's not only like you don't know how to be loved, sometimes you just like, I'm unlovable. And then on top of all of that, you're like, this person's wasting their time with me.
But sometimes it's just telling yourself to shut up, and your brain's just being an asshole.
No, 100%. It takes time. It takes time, and it takes work. Once again.
And I'm not saying that because of time and work, it's absolutely going to be perfect, and it's just going to magically go away. It takes time. It takes work. Sometimes you fall. Sometimes you get back up. Sometimes there's a little bit of it that's always going to be there. But one, it takes a person to understand that and that know that you're human, because everybody has imperfections and everybody has flaws. And 2, you have to be understanding to yourself.
Yeah, the other part of that too, though, is when you're with somebody who has a healthy relationship with their family, it's very difficult.
That's the part that I don't understand.
Because it is, while you're damaged, you almost can't talk to them about certain things because they just, you would, it almost feels like they would judge you because they don't necessarily feel, they don't know what you're feeling. And that is a very delicate thing, especially being a man, right? Because in most cases, I'm supposed to just have it. Now, we're obviously 2023. We're allowed to have our moments of vulnerability, but if I'm just
man,
sitting here throwing a fucking
yeah.
pity party 24 hours a day, I'm not getting shit done. So it is one of those fucking toxic masculinity. But, like, it is one of those things, too, where, like, you also have to know your audience. That doesn't mean that she's a bad person. It's just, like, how could I talk to somebody about losing a parent if they've never lost a parent? Right? Like,
but it's not, but I feel like...
They could say, I'm sorry.
But I feel like it's not that, though, because you've lost a parent. I had cancer. Are they the same? No. But I should be able to talk to you about my feelings. And no, I don't expect you to understand and feel everything that I'm feeling because you've never been through it. But I trust you enough to just hear me sometimes. And I think, like, that's one of the biggest battles that I had to overcome. And I'm still, like, working on is understanding that I can talk to you about something and it's okay that you don't understand me 100% or that you don't get it or that you haven't been through it. But it's just, I don't know. I think it's just trusting your partner to just talk.
Yeah.
Because I would hate to feel like, because it was my family 100% picture perfect and blah, blah. No. Do I have a good relationship with them now? Is it still 100% picture perfect? No. But if we were in a relationship, or even as your friend, like, I feel like, what can I do to let you know that even though I haven't been through something that you've been through, I'm still going to be a listening ear. You know, like, I still want to just listen to you sometimes. Even if I don't get it, even if you just want to let it out, like, whatever the case is, I think that's when it comes down to friendships and partnerships is, I don't have to understand what you're going through, but I'm still going to listen to you and I'm not going to love you any less. You know? But
I think you're coming at that from how you are. Right? Like,
yeah, it's all opinion based, right? But
so
that's how I see it, and that's how I am.
You know, there's different circumstances for different people. Maybe some people aren't, and this isn't in reference to my girl in general. Some people just aren't emotionally mature enough to have that conversation and digest it and be able to sit there and just absorb and maybe understand that, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, most people don't understand why I am the way that I am. And I'm like, because I had to be that.
Yeah, you went through shit.
Like, I had to be that. You wonder why I have a dark sense of humor? Because I've been in
dark places. Yeah.
Where you just crack jokes about it. I'll crack a joke about my dead dads. And people are like, damn, that's dark. And I'm like, well, what do you want me to do?
I get it. Yeah. I mean,
It is what it is. So it's like you have to. It's just a complex situation, and the more I talk, the more because you also have these different versions too, where it's like, fucking suck it up, ninny. But then there's the other times too, is where like,
sometimes you just
like I said,
can't.
99% of the time you're good.
Yeah.
And then that 1% hits, and it can be on a fucking Wednesday. Maybe your partner's having a bad day.
The spiders on the couch. It went in there.
Oh my god, there's so many spiders.
I'm scared.
Maybe you're.
Look, there it is. That was so aggressive.
Like, maybe you're going through it on a Wednesday and your partner's having a bad day. Well, who deserves the ear? You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, like, because I know that I'm emotionally more stable in the sense of, like, I can handle what I'm going through at the, I can do this and I can listen and it's not going to add on anything. Sometimes it's like, fuck what I'm going through,
I want to
take care of home.
Yeah.
Right? And sometimes that happens and then everything's fine, and then you just kind of forget to ever have that conversation because now it's next day, next thing, next. And, you know, communication is key.
Yeah, it really is.
And then you might forget to ever, like, confide in them, and then you'll go a week later, and now you're low-key subconsciously pissed off because you never worked through that insecurity or whatever it was that you needed to get through.
But it takes time. Excuse me. I get that because
especially being like an ADHD type of person.
Oh yeah, and I get that. So I feel like for me, not developed, but I realized what worked for me, and what worked for me was like, hey, I am feeling a feeling. I don't have to go into details. I'm feeling a feeling. Remind me to talk about it later, because my person's not ADHD, and he will remember. So I'll be like, I'm feeling a feeling. We can talk about it now. Remind me about it later. And whether I remember or he remembers, we will make time to sit down and talk about, or not sit down, but just like we will make time to have that conversation. But it took for me to realize if I don't do this, it's not going to come out and it's going to get unhealthy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I think that's within the confinements of y'all's relationship.
Yeah, it is.
Which is which is perfectly healthy for
it's what works for me.
Yeah, for y'all's relationship. And just like, I mean, with that being said, I mean, whatever works in my relationship works in my relationship. And I'm learning how to be better, and I'm learning how to not run away, and I'm learning how to... That's why I have, like, friends that are, like, rushing me to marriage and stuff like that. And I'm like, just give me fucking time, man.
Yeah.
Like, give me time. Yeah. I'm still trying to learn how to love her properly.
Yeah.
And with all of me, with all of my heart, with all of my mind, everything. Like, I'm still working on that. There's a reason I work 70 hours a week and do this on the side and do side hustles and do everything else that I do, is because I want a good quality of life
so you can provide
for my family.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm still in the process of learning all of that. And I really didn't get a chance to in the 20s because I was fucking getting cheated on or didn't like the person I was with. So... But
I feel like all in due time. My timeline is not going to be the same as your timeline. There is no perfect timing. There's no perfect age. There's shit happens when it's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
You know?
It's, yeah, and it'll get, and not to be too cliche about it, that's why I just pray on it. I just go back to, like...
You go back to the basics.
I just go back to my faith, and I just understand, like, I've always had a confidence in myself. I've always said I'm going to be successful in whatever I do. And I just believe that whatever my path is going to lead to me being success. Whatever that success means.
Yeah.
Whether it's me being success in the sense of I'm fulfilled with my family life. I'm fulfilled with monetary value. Whatever it might be. Who knows?
Yeah. But
I've always felt confident in that. And... that waking up at 2:30 a.m. is fucking with me. It is one of those things, and I just have to get back to that, and I have to remember that. But I do think it's important that we have this conversation, because I do think, like, a lot of people go through these battles, and I generally think that this is why we're such a hookup based. You know, like this a generation.
Because nobody makes the time to go back to the basics.
Well, I think it's easier to just fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's easier to fuck, get your rocks off, and never have to confide in another person.
No, I don't think it's talked about enough how a healthy relationship is one of the most difficult relationships.
But on the flip side of that...
It's one of the most gratifying ones.
I think the more you hook up, slowly eats away at your soul.
Yeah.
You might not see it that way, but by the time you're 30 years old and you have 35, 40 bodies, right? And I feel like that's being relatively light compared to some of these people. It eats at you because now you're identifying with just the dude who can pull girls, or the girl who can get dick, or get the guys that can buy you shit. Now you identify with that.
So how do you go back to yourself?
Well, no respectful man wants a woman that's doing that. Maybe if he's trying to get you as a prize piece, maybe you're hot. Maybe he's trying to show off that he can get a hot girl. But a well-respectful man, he doesn't want a woman that's just trying to...
I mean, again, to each their own, and if that's what they want for each other, that's what they want for each other. But I don't know. For me, so one of the funny things is, like, unconsciously, my relationship is very God-centered.
Yeah.
And it's something that I've always wanted. But I didn't realize that I needed it. So when we did get it, it's funny how, I don't know. everything happens for a reason, I think.
No, 100%. I think that it's a conversation that needs to be had because it is hard, but it is also very rewarding. And once again, like the most difficult thing is
putting in the work to be
talking
healthy.
to the same person every day. Probably more than you talk to your friends, more than you talk to your family, more than you talk to anybody. You talk to that person every single day, and if you say something stupid, they hold you accountable, and vice versa. And then, not only that, I'm willing to go into debt with we're willing to go into debt with each other to create this life together, and then we eventually actually create life. And
That's
then
crazy, though. That's
now
so
we're
cool.
both strung out, we're both tired, but we have to raise this little fucking
hoodlum
weird thing that can't, we both created that has a fucking attitude. And
your kids are gonna have your
they
attitude.
can't fucking they can't even hold up their neck or their head, but you're just like,
I don't know, but then
oh my God.
Like, everybody's different because I see that different. Like, I feel like the person that I end up marrying, and I don't know, I just think to me that's so beautiful. Is it gonna be hard? Yes, but there's beauty in the hard stuff. There's beauty.
Well, I'm not saying that it's not beautiful. I'm just saying, like, it's a long, tedious ordeal. Does that make it not? I don't think that makes it any less beautiful. But it is. It's a extremely long, tedious process where you're gonna go through a bunch of shit. Where ultimately, like, you got to put pride aside for the betterment of the relationship. And it's so crazy because while you could be single, hooking up, doing all this excess shit, you're over here getting into fucking arguments about she stole a fry off my plate. Right? But then
But at the end of the day, who's more fulfilled?
Well, it just depends on the person.
Yeah, I guess so.
It depends on the person.
Yeah.
Now, which one is... I don't want to speak in comparison, indefinites. I would assume that the person in the relationship, barring they're in a healthy relationship, like probably if you're getting stable, you're probably getting the fuck beat out of you, you might be rather better at the club. Single. But like in a healthy relationship, I think the highs of a healthy quality relationship, you just got that brand new job. Being able to call and text your partner and say, yo, I fucking locked it down. Oh, shit, we're going to dinner tonight to celebrate. I think that trumps so much extra. When you're... getting a drink at the club. You get down on your knee, and then she says yes. Yeah. Right? You go to the bank to try to get this loan for this house. You start putting up pictures all over the house. Then you have kids. Then you have marks on the wall. Then you have this extra shit. You create, see, but I don't know. For me, like what I think is like that's what life is. Like that's what life is about, and it's not. I mean, there's people that sometimes can't have kids, or sometimes that it's not about marriage, but it's about the memories you make with the people you love. Yeah. You know, to me that's what's fulfilling. It's being able to be with somebody that knows how I love God and that He loves God, and just. I don't know, it's making those memories with that person, and are we perfect? No, by any means, but it's loving somebody that's not perfect and being loved in your non-perfect ways and just being assured, and I don't know, it's just, to me, that's more fulfilling, and I think that's what life is about. It's about being able to share that love. I just think people need to understand that is great, but it is difficult. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It is. Oh, yeah. So, like... But all good things take work. No, 100%. 100%. And you know, we live in a civilization today where we gotta have it. Amazon's on your doorstep that night. Food can be on your doorstep in 30 minutes. Like, everything is so, like instant. So, and we're so used to instant gratification because of the world that we live in now. And... life is not about instant gratification. Well, and then you get a relationship, and it's such a slow burn that it's complicated. You don't want a badass smelling candle to burn fast. You want it to slowly burn, so you can fill up all the aromas in the room slowly.
is my comparison at the moment. This has been a good topic.
I don't know. It is complex. It's complex, and you're dealing with people in a lot of cases that come from completely different socioeconomics. Mm-hmm. They come from different backgrounds. They come from different households. They come from different learning, whatever processes that they had learned. Different schools sometimes, different
everything, different lives.
They're completely different people, and they're learning how to create a life together and be compatible and love each other the right way and do all of this extra shit. Like,
it's hard.
And then, if you're a broken person, then it's complicated. And I feel like more people need to have these conversations, and more people need to this could even go back to when we talked about like the politics shit. Mm-hmm. Simply put your pride aside and just
love everybody.
Talk.
Be a hippie.
Just talk. Mm-hmm. It's cool. You feel that way.
Mm-hmm. And that's okay.
It is what it is. Mm-hmm. I can have a perspective on something, and it doesn't have to. I'm going to feel way more security whether we agree or not, the fact that you listen to me.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. Now, the part of the issue is am I willing to start that dialogue with somebody that I'm not sure that will listen, that would judge me? That's when there's kind of a complication. And I think that's an issue in a lot of brand new relationships or relationships that haven't been through.
I feel like that's just a life thing. Like, you starting this podcast, it's a risk. You spend time, you're investing money, you have to do the work, and like, I'm not saying it was a huge risk or not a huge risk. Like, at the end of the day, it was a risk you took to do something you wanted to do.
Working on it.
Right? Right?
Yeah.
So, like, that's with life. You want that happy marriage and to retire with somebody and travel the world or whatever the fuck you want to do, wherever the fuck you want to end up. Like, it takes that risk in that relationship too. You want a healthy relationship, it takes that risk of vulnerability and that trust, and it's knowing that it's a risk. Am I gonna get my heart broken? Maybe. I don't know. But it might just be the best damn thing that could have happened to me. Everything's a risk. Same thing with your job. Yeah. Like, if you want a promotion in a different company, but it takes the risk to go to a different company and leave the stable job you're in, it's a risk. But you don't know what the reward is. Like, your reward could be bigger than you ever thought you would have. Everything's a risk.
Yeah. Just
do it.
Sometimes, and that's something
easier said than done, right? But
I mean, that's something I'm trying to learn how to do. I mean, this was a risk, and I even understood that, like, me doing this, there's gonna come a time and a place where I have to get vulnerable, and there's a time and a place that I have to talk about. Like, me and my sister have talked about coming on here, and that's going to be incredibly
vulnerable,
difficult, because we're both going to talk about life experiences, and me and her we're blood and live completely different lives in good and bad ways. Yeah. Right? So it's such a complex thing where, like, bro, even my fucking sister has a different life than me, and we grew up with the same mother.
Well, I mean, I have four sisters, and we're all so different.
So, like, it's just one of those. It's one of those things that I took this risk because I also understood. This was something that I understood was, if I'm willing to work. Now, when I was in the oil field, I worked 120 to 160 hours a week. If I'm willing to do that for somebody else, why the fuck would I not do it for myself?
Exactly. Yeah.
Why could I not even allocate 20 hours to myself? Betterment of myself, creating something that can create money for me. Yeah. And I don't think a lot of people share that thing, but this is the way that I explain it to people. And this doesn't just have to be job related. This doesn't have to be hobby. This could be relationship. If you're willing to give your job 40 hours a week, if I told you have 40 hours a week, 40 hours, 8 hours in 5 days, Monday through Friday, 8 hours a day, all you do is research how to be successful. All you do is research how to treat somebody,
Mm-hmm.
All you do is research relationships.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't fucking matter what it is. You're going to be fucking good at it.
Yeah. Even if it was just an hour a day.
But we spend 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week, 60 hours a week doing some extra stuff. And while I think most of us are grateful for opportunities we've been awarded, right? If you just take the time and think about, man, the time I spend at work, if I worked on myself with that time,
what could you get?
I'm never going to have a boss. I'm never going to have... I'm always going to be happy. I'm always going to do what I want to do. I'm always going to have the relationships I want to have.
But see, some people are happy with having a boss. And I think it goes back to, like... I know we're all, like, getting stiff from sitting down.
Yeah, it's about time for us to wrap. This thing's been going for, like, 2 hours.
Okay. Well, to end our note, I feel like it all goes back to, like, being able to talk to people and being able to respect people at the end of the day. Like, yeah, I feel like the basis of all our conversation today rolls or circles back to it takes one, communication, and being able to have a conversation, not agree, and still be okay.
100%. Because I'm different than you. You're different than Celeste. I'm different than Jonah. We're all different people. We all have different life experiences. We all have different expectancy. We have all different wants and needs. You might want to be the baddest real estate bitch in the whole entire fucking nation. I might want to be the second biggest podcast to fucking Joe Rogan. I don't. I genuinely don't. Like, we all have different things that make us go, right? Some people just want to be a mom. Some people just want to be a dad. Some people just want to be a CEO. Some people, I was listening to somebody talk about they dated a guy and they pulled up to a fucking island in Italy and got upset because his yacht wasn't the biggest. Right?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, talk about fucking problems. Your yacht isn't big enough, bro?
Sorry.
Yeah. Talk about fucking issues.
Yeah.
But it's stuff like that where, like, to that guy, that's a very real issue. He's a billionaire.
Yeah. And
he's complaining about the size of his fucking $100 million yacht. Okay. Is what it is. But it's one of those things where we all have different wants, needs, like so on and so forth. And I think it's very important for those to be communicated. Yeah. Because I think if you're ever going to find out what kind of person you're dealing with, especially in a dating sense,
it just takes talking.
You want to have that dialogue and be able to talk to them, find out their wants, needs. What do you want from me?
Yeah.
If we're together, what do you want from me?
I want your money. Give it to me now.
Some people will fucking say that.
Yeah.
You think these fucking girls dating these 80-year-old men are with them because they love them?
It's for their personality.
Okay. Most of them are fucking scared of old people.
Most of them are scared of old people.
Fuck yeah. That's a weird one. Anyways.
But anyway, it's just, I think today was a good topic.
It was good. We got 2 episodes in.
Oh, yeah.
One was double the other one. I'm glad. I'll have to find... I'll get some other ones recorded too. But no, I definitely think that it's an important thing to discuss, especially like the vulnerability sense, because I don't think it's communicated enough between, like, everybody just expects it to work.
Yeah, no, it takes
Everybody
work.
just sees a couple and they're like, damn, y'all just got it like that.
No.
But don't nobody ever see like the fucking...
The fights,
the dark
arguments, shit. The times I've cried, and whatever, and just like,
and sometimes where you both realize, what the fuck are we arguing about? We're just at each other's throat, and for what?
For no reason.
0.
We're just in a bad mood. Yeah.
And sometimes I think it's important for you to be able to check your partner and be like, why are you talking to me like that? I didn't do anything to you.
Yeah. What's up? Like, what's going on? Yeah.
What's going on? And those are things I think that's important to talk about. And, you know, I say a lot of really, really, really dumb shit. But I live in a world where I can do both. I live in a world where I can...
But that's just who you are.
I'm a deep individual. I'm like an onion.
You're like a turtle.
I'm like an ogre.
You're a turtle.
I have layers.
You're a turtle.
Turtle? What is that? That like racing turtles?
No, like, I'm going into my little shell.
Nah. Me in a shell?
In a nutshell.
Nah.
All right. Slapper. Okay.
I'm fucking...
Peace out. I'm tired. I have to pee. I've been needing to pee for, like, the last hour and a half.
Yeah, I'm fucking exhausted.
And got work tomorrow. Early in the morning.
But...
Gotta get ready for
my boss
Vegas.
is texting me, asking me about shit, so...
But okay, this has been a good podcast. Pleasure doing business with you.
So
shake my head.
Awkward. Yeah. All right, y'all.
Deuce.
Peace.